Okay, it's been a week since we pulled this little main control valve apart, and I've been and cleaned it up and blown it dry and cleaned all these housings out and sandpapered this. You can hear the shed creaking in the background a bit, but I can't do anything about that really. The gasket set, there's a kit that Sparex make, an S43896, and that kit has the gaskets. It has the O-ring for the spool, I believe. I haven't opened this yet, I just cut the top off. Okay, we have the O-ring for the spool and the copper washer for the plug for the relief valve at the end, which is over here. I haven't washed that bit up yet. So, alright, to get it started, to get the assembly started on the valve at least, we'll pop this O-ring here out. And that's gone quite hard over time, so it wouldn't have been doing its job properly. I'll give it a blow. There you go. And then we'll bring him down over the top here, just let it roll. Then that'll have to settle for a little bit. Because we've stretched it, we need to let it sit back down into the groove and just rest for a little bit. Where that goes in, there's a nice, you can see a nice little taper here, so we won't have any trouble with that really. Now, this is the old gasket, so there must be a couple of different models this kit covers. That one's not the one. It looks like this one's the one we need to do the job, so that will have to sit that way there to have the bolt holes lined up. So that looks okay. Looks all alright. Now on the main housing here, we'll just give that a wipe. I haven't cleaned that yet. I haven't got to that yet. And we'll line up the bolt holes once more. And yep, these little holes here line up. The bolt holes line up. So with that gasket's good. It's good to use. Now this little valve here, I had a look in the workshop manual. I've got a genuine Massey Ferguson workshop manual, and it just says refit the spool valve. It doesn't actually, in my manual anyway, it doesn't explain what it does, and all we can presume is that when you have a spool valve here with a spring on it, it's a pressure regulating valve for your Multipower. So if your pressure got too much that it was going to damage something, pop a housing or do something like that, this would open up and let that through. So that's all I can work out that it's for. I thought I'd have a look in the manual and it'd tell me all about it, but not this time. So I'll go and wash this up. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so that little copper washer goes on just to seal it all up. Now it obviously goes in from this end, so we'll pop a bit of oil on him. Let him slide into the grooves there, into the body. Now is that nice and free in there? Look, there's no effort at all there. So that's doing what it's supposed to do. Well, I can't explain this just yet. I haven't found a diagram that was good enough to let me know what I thought I'd like to know anyway. So we'll screw this fella down. Right, I've got a vise here. I'll just tighten this up. It was really tight to undo that fella. Right, so that's not going to come loose. I've tightened him up, I've done the copper washer up. I didn't put any Loctite on that. Now I just want to check again that there's quite a bit of tension there, so it must be how it is. Alright, now this O-ring, I'll just get a little bit of grease on the O-ring to help it feed into the taper. Put a little bit of oil down this bottom end here. You can see that's a nice going in under its own weight, so that's what we need. That O-ring's quite firm. We don't want to cut it. I'll just set him up in the vise for a second. Okay, I just want to see, that O-ring's just too big. Alright, off to find a new O-ring. Looks like the one in the kit's just too big. We've had a lovely taper there. It should just slide in there, no worries, but the O-ring in the Sparex kit's just a bit big. So I'll go and find one the correct size. Well, look, you wouldn't believe the number of O-ring kits I have here. And look, I found one that fits nicely. It sits over the groove nicely. When I actually sat it down in the bore on its own, and I can probably show you that, they go out of shape just a little bit in the rack, but when you sit it there, it doesn't want to fall through the hole. You can see it wants to stay there. So I'm happy with that. I'll put this back in the kit for next time. And another way of knowing that it's actually doing some sealing is if we pop a bit more oil here again, and then we let the valve drop in under its own weight there, that's no worries. And then it comes to the O-ring, so you can see that's really easy to push in and out. And then when we come to the O-ring, we just have to push it that bit to get it in. And then you can feel the drag on it, so you know it's sealing. It has to be sealing. So you have to put you can feel the drag, so that's good. So look, in my kit, that O-ring was number 7, and it's a 012N7. So the ID is 0.364, the OD is 0.70, 70 thou, and there's 20 of them in the box. So there you go. And the O-ring kits are, I've obviously got off www.transseals.com.au. There's Aussie Mob. And so the kit number is OK21N7. So yeah, 70 Duro O-rings. So there you go. Hopefully that helps with yours. And I can feel the drag there. So look, once again, I am happy with the feel of that. So I think that's high and that's low, and you can see it's got the ports, this port's blocked off, so the oil that comes in here through this pipeline, the oil comes in here into this section there. Then when he comes there, and the spool's that way, the oil comes under this webbing here and out to here, to which would go back to lube, I'm pretty sure. Then when we pull him out this way, you can see the land there. You can see that land coming out, then you can see the edge of the land here going this way. So when you come into high multi, the oil still comes in here, which it will always do, and in high multi it comes through this web here and then off to the clutch here. So you would be able to track that through here, I would say. So that would make, yep, that one's high. So when the valve sits that way, so when the oil comes in here, it comes to that surface there and it can't go anywhere, it's blanked off. So what happens then? Well, being blanked off, once it reaches a certain pressure, it pushes this valve here open and it will return oil back out through here to lube. So with this, yeah, with that in low, the oil comes in here, goes out that hole there, and that hole goes to lubrication here. I hope I'm explaining it, that you can understand it. Now when you go high, this lever comes out for high. It comes in through here, can't go anywhere there. This is open there, so then it comes down through that hole there. That hole there drops down to your sealing rings on your main shaft, on this shaft here. So that's how oil gets into your clutch pack. Okay, look, that's looking lovely. Alright, I'm going to go and wash this up. Look, I think that'll be the end of the video for this little control valve, just so if anyone just wants to work on the valve, they haven't got to watch the whole heap of me flapping my gums about it. So that's it. That's the multi-power control valve. We'll now, because a week's gone past and I had a chance to order some parts, I've actually got the new sealing rings for the clutch packs here, and new sealing rings for the main shaft through here. So we might slide some of that together just for safety's sake, and we'll come back in another video.